I would like to introduce you all to Dr. Kuppuswamy, Executive Director for Vivekananda Group of Institutions at Tiruchengodu, Tamil Nadu. Hi sir, welcome to College Duniya's Thoughts on Education program.
Yeah, good morning. I am really happy to participate in the interview process of College Duniya today in order to convey some of the inputs about our own institution and also about the education. So thank you for giving me the opportunity.
It's our pleasure, sir. Sir, you have held key positions at education institution throughout your professional career of almost 4 decades. So what do you think are the key factors that keep you connected with the education sector?
See, I always consider that as a teacher, associating with the educational institutions, you are responsible in generating the next generation of the professionals, either it may be an engineers or it may be your arts and science graduates or whatever it may be. And much more than that, you have to be a learner continuously in your life. That's what everybody says. And when you take up the educational job, then all the time you are a learner. I recall that what we learned during our college days are never being used. And that is what has impressed me to get into the education line, and where we get connected to a large number of students who become the workforce for the country and also in abroad. And we have the pleasure of transforming the youngsters as fruitful professionals who can do wonders to the benefit of the society. That's the main reason.
Okay, sir. So as you are aware of, the education system in India and other foreign countries are structured very differently. So in your experience, what can an inbound student gain from studying in your institute, sir?
Yeah, I had the experience of working abroad, universities and also in India. Basically, the system of education right from the school days differs from our country to the Western countries. But of course, there is a plus and a minus. I always take up the plus and try to improve further. Like if you take the Western countries, the way in which they try to, give emphasis to the education system is highly systematic, and they try to narrow down the specialization. And once if you get into a particular field, you don't look after the other areas. It's highly focused. But whereas when you come to the Indian scenario, our education system prepares the people in a wider spectrum. Either it may be a doctor, or it may be an engineer, or it may be a management guy, whoever it may be. A wide spectrum of the inputs are given to the students in our education system, so that they can fit into any slot of the professional career. That is why you would have seen most of our Indian students, when they go abroad for higher studies, they quickly adapt to the environment and they do much better than anybody else. So that is one of the strengths of our education system. And particularly in our institute, what we try to do is, we try to give emphasis to the concepts and also translating this concept into the reality. We give more focus on how the engineering graduates or maybe the arts and science graduates who can contribute to the society in different directions. What I am trying to say is that we are not preparing graduates, we are preparing professionals. That is what it is a focus all about the Vivekananda institutions. Particularly, this is mainly meant for the women, and when the woman is educated, then they educate the entire family and also the society in and around. And that's a concept we have taken to our mind, and we have started giving education to the women force, particularly from the rural India. That is one of the main, primary, emphasis of our educational institutions.
Okay, sir. Sir, any insights into how your college could be more welcoming to students of different races or economic backgrounds?
Yeah, we in fact admit students from other states like Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, even from northern states. And of course, we also have students who are admitted from highly low background conditions. Like nearly about 40 to 50% of the students are coming from a very poor family. Their parents are either laborers or workers or whatever it may be. The college tries to provide facilities for these children, because they are all being girls, to take up education in the rural area and try to evolve after getting the education, so that the family can be uplifted over a period of time. And that is the main focus of our institution. And if you have at the average, nearly about 50% of the children are the below poverty line. And we give a lot of concession to them in terms of transport. In fact, the college runs a totally free transport to a distance of about 100 kilometers, so that they can come and go. And hostel facilities also provided for the affordable ones to stay comfortably in the hostel. And what we say is that if there are students who are unable to pursue their studies due to certain unforeseen circumstances, either the breadwinner dies in between and so on, the management takes care of their studies to complete, so that they'll be able to get the degree and go and fetch a job at some point of time. In addition, we also give a lot of training, skill-based training to the students, so that in addition to the graduation, they also get the skills, so that getting a job when they go out of the institution is very easy.
Nice, sir. Nice. Sir, how does the curriculum of your institution ensure the best practice of the industry?
Yeah, since 1980s, the industry has evolved over a period of time. And now the entire industry is talking about Industry 4.0, I think fourth generation of the industries, which really talks about complete automation, then it is a virtual reality and whatnot. Everything can be done without without much of effort under a fingertip, and you can even operate an industry sitting remotely and so on. Under these circumstances, we are giving focus on our curriculum to impart the latest nitty-gritties of the industry, and also the basic concepts that are required to pick up the threads of an industry and so on, so that our children can straightaway fit into the industrial requirement rather than going through another form of a training. So that is why I mentioned that we add a lot more value by giving them the skill-based training in addition to our curriculum. And our curriculum is tuned in such a way that these skill-based trainings are integrated in a different form. We do have, in order to help the students to innovate and create something, to become an entrepreneur, we do have Innovation Center and a startup facility wherein their innovations can be nurtured and these children can feel proud of what they have done. And if their invention is something great, we also help them even for patenting. We also help them in taking it forward for the product release and so on. That is how the students get a wider exposure, and the employers are also willing to come to our campus and recruit our students.
Okay, sir. So, can you elaborate on the facilities available at your college, like hostels, sport facilities, etc.?
Yeah, this institute has got an excellent infrastructure facility in terms of the buildings, the laboratories, the modern latest equipments, and the hostel facilities and also the sports facilities. See, even the hostel, we give facilities based on their needs and their demands, so that the affordable can always have a better facility, and of course others, they say, okay, we cannot afford a huge cost, so we will stay in a moderate hostel and so on. So we have a tier 1 and tier 2 type of an hostel where the children can, according to their convenience, they can stay. And the sports facilities are really good. We encourage the children to participate, to go to various competitions, and even at the national level. And the management supports financially these children also to take part. In addition, we also give the facilities to these children to carry out some live projects within the institute. It's it's a co-curricular kind of an activity. When they complete something, some subject in which a model can be developed, evolved, and that can be demonstrated to the other people. We also give a provision for these children to do the project and showcase their inventions. We also help them right from the first year in communication ability. That is one of the strong points of our institution, because in today's world, all the industries, they require a good communication. Even the moderate level of students with good communication, they get placed. So we pay emphasis on good communication by imparting the communicative English and also giving them the training on the computer-based softwares, so that they can articulate themselves very well by listening to various lessons, and then they can speak out, they can listen their own voices, and then they can make corrections and so on. We have not stopped at this level itself. We also have given provision to our own students to give training for the GATE level of competitive examinations. It's not only the GATE or GMAT and things like that. We also have a tie-up with the IAS coaching center and also the Tamil Nadu Service Commission's coaching center. Through that, we train our students, the interested students, for IAS, IPS, and also for the Tamil Nadu government service sector. So there are plenty of opportunities. We make it available for the benefit of the students, so that it is up to the students to make use of that. During the lecture time, it is not only that they can participate in these activities, but they also have other activities like cultural activities, NSS, NCC, and things like that. NCC is not there. NSS and Youth Red Cross Society and professional society activities, so that they can pick up various threads in order to improve their caliber. We have professional societies through which technical lectures are also organized, and that will give them an exposure of what is happening in the present condition in the industry. So that also helps them to pick up the various threads. This is how we do.
Okay, sir. Sir, in order to summarize whatever you have told, can you tell me what do you see as your institution's greatest strength, and what would you like to tell people about your college that they may not know?
Yeah, the greatest strength of this institution is commitment. Commitment to the growth of the youth, particularly the rural youth, and of course more particularly to the women. The vision of the management has started from the bottom level. I think the chairman, who was born and brought up with a small village, only in his own village this has been established. He thought, if you want to improve a family's condition, then the women also have to contribute equally. And in that, he thought, is being a follower of Vivekananda, he thought establishing an educational institution and giving education to the women folk would definitely transform the younger generation, next generation, to a better condition. So only in that aspect, the Vivekananda educational institutions have been established in the year 1992. And today it has grown up as one of the largest women's education institution in Asia. And the strength is not only from the management side. When you come to the faculty, see, it's totally a committed faculty. A to Z, whatever they want to give to the student community, and they get to their level and they see that their children are elevated to the next level. And this commitment and also this, what do you say, the cooperation that is being extended by the student community, both put together, has elevated the status of this institution to a larger size. That is why amalgamation of the institution here is being managed. And if you talk of any discipline that is available in this institution, and many a times I have seen from the same family, the children are coming here to study. And if their children have finished, probably they bring their relatives or the neighbors or from their own township, etc., etc. And this attraction has made a very, strong point for the institution. And of course, the needy people are always given certain form of scholarships, stipends, or earn while you study and things like that. So that is also a strength of this institute.
Okay, sir. Sir, as a conclusion, any suggestion you would like to give to the current youth and aspiring students, sir?
Yeah, when I just look at the current situation, the youngsters are having enormous amount of potential in terms of their IQ, their brain power, and so on. But they lack orientation. And that is what I need the youngsters to understand. When they are in the institute, they have to learn what they are supposed to learn. And it is not only to get a degree, but also to make themselves as a professional. Like, when you want to study engineering, it's not for the sake of getting an engineering degree. But when you go out, you should also think in terms of showcasing yourself as a real engineer. That is what really we focus upon. This is what I always emphasize in front of the student community or the younger community, saying that keep your focus intact and try to work. And the moment you say, you put in an effort towards this, definitely you will be able to achieve greater heights. And of course, the education is not the one which prepares you to earn money. It prepares you to to solve the real life problems. And of course, the education should prepare an individual for their life journey. So A to Z. And that is what it has to be focused. And the students, youngsters also should understand that why we are going for an education. Many come to the education thinking that after getting a degree, they will earn money. It's not the question of earning money, but it is the question of quality of life that they live. And our system is being tuned, and I hope the children also should take that into their mind and start working. So if the next generation thinks that they can do something good, like how our former President of India, late Dr. Abdul Kalam, has foreseen, think big, then you will achieve. And he wanted our country to be on the top of the world map with, it's a spiritually powerful, technically powerful, and of course he wanted that our country should be a knowledge-rich country. And if that has to reach, it all depends on the youngsters. And I wish that every younger generation should work towards this goal to meet their own requirement and also the requirements of the country at large.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time and participating in College Dunia's Thoughts on Education program, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Ganesh, for the nice questions that you have posed. I hope I have given the answers to the best of my ability.